black people could please stop scrolling and join me for today's edition of Ooh, I think that's racist? I would much appreciate it, because I have a little story for you. So recently I was at the salon, and my awesome stylist, while I was there, decided to introduce me to the owner. And this woman was very lovely. She was about a 50-something white woman, really kind, but this woman had box braids all the way to her waist. White woman. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but, like, that's appropriation, right? That's bad. We don't do that. And honestly, like, I didn't know what to say. Like, what do you say to that? It's not like she was mean or anything, but she was clearly, Black people, you're pretty chilled out, because us white people seem to always have our hands in your cookie jar, and you haven't slaughtered us all. Thank you. We're dicks. So that's racist, right? Or at least appropriation? Let me know. Mwah.
Cultural appropriation, the unacknowledged or inappropriate adoption of the customs, practices, ideas, etc. of one people or society by members of another, typically more dominant people or society. Cultural appropriation defined. Culture refers to the traditions, customs, beliefs, and practices of any given ethnic, racial, or religious groups. Key elements of culture include language, art, music and literature, clothing, social norms, customs and values, history and government, religion and holidays. To appropriate, in basic terms, means to take without permission. Cultural appropriation then happens when another culture borrows any of these cultural elements, typically without asking permission or crediting the source culture. Appropriation also tends to involve some misuse of cultural elements. In other words, people who appropriate generally pick and choose only the elements they consider appealing and ignore the rest, along with any important cultural context behind those elements. So this game of appropriating cultures and doing it without permission is embarrassing once you realize everybody does it some way or another. And if we're gonna pick and choose when we get pissed about it, we really gotta consider why we should care. I want to live in a world where we embrace other cultures without disrespecting them. And every time I see this conversation about braids, hair, who gets to eat what food, who gets to cook what food, it's always somebody just doing it. They're not embarrassing the culture. They're not disrespecting it. They're not going around saying, I wear this better than this group of people. They're just doing it. Maybe to show appreciation, maybe to just look good, maybe to make some photo op. They're just doing it. I haven't seen anyone do this and actually go out and disrespect the group they took it from. And again, if we're playing this game, a lot of black people culturally appropriate as well, but they don't want to acknowledge that because white people are the oppressors and everybody else, they don't have the same skin complexion. Inclusion doesn't mean that those in privilege are to be granted license to infiltrate spaces meant for the very same people they exclude and ostracize in their own Eurocentric spaces. It doesn't mean a right to violate boundaries. And you know, I'm a passionate man. And when I saw this, I got real passionate. And I told her to shut the fuck up, because you can sit there and say all you want. And this is also how I responded. And I quote, boy, I fucking swear, y'all dance around the word, but some of y'all want segregation to come back. Legitimately. Because you're gonna sit there and say, we don't want you privileged people to be in our spaces that are meant for us, and cultural appropriation, need I remind you, is a bunch of black people dressing up as Japanese characters. Hello? Cultural appropriation? But we can't do that because we're not oppressive. Shut the fuck up. You literally had a dude dress up as Todoroki, painting one part of his head silver while the other part is red, with this part of his fucking face red also. Need I remind you, Todoroki ain't black. Let me see a white character go around cosplaying as Blade, and you motherfuckers would be like, how dare he do that?
That is true.
It's so true.
Let a little white child dress up as Black Panther. They're gonna be like, this privileged little boy is sitting here making a mockery out of Chadwick Boseman. Like, so if we're gonna keep doing this game of dancing around when we want to get mad and what's acceptable and what is not, we have a hard life ahead of us of a bunch of people bitching about when someone does something that they don't like. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to live in that world. Look at me right now. I'm appropriating Halloween tactics. I'm dressed like like a skeleton. Someone should be offended by me right now because I didn't paint this right. My skeleton lips aren't lined up properly. My eyes are misshaped. Oh my God, I'm appropriating the dead. Someone should feel offended. Do you know how stupid I sound right now? That's how that woman sounds. And to act as if black people should start slaughtering white individuals over some crotchety old woman with braids, I think is a little bit laughable. Have a little bit more stake in the game than that. Show a little bit more respect to yourself, because you look like this picture and you don't look good. You just look like somebody who wants to be picked by black people. And I'm sorry to let you know this, you're not invited to the barbecue. Subscribe to the channel. I will see you all in the next video. Don't bitch at me about how this video is gonna come out after Halloween. I don't care. I just wanted to get in the costume. Goodbye.